Welcome to your first instructional video. I hope you are as eager as I am to get started. By now you should have read the syllabus and you should have purchased your materials for the class. And as you know, for the first few weeks, or for the first part of the class anyways, we're going to be using the Excel step-by-step book, which is going to introduce you to the basics of Excel. Also, as you know from reading the syllabus and from checking out the Canvas website, for each of these chapters or lessons, you'll be required to create a short workbook to upload in the Canvas site, and you'll also be taking a short quiz at the end of each lesson, as well as posting to the discussion board. So let's get started. This is a picture of what your book looks like, and we will be using Excel 2016. You can get by with other versions of Excel, but just keep in mind that tests, quizzes, and the like will have to use some version, and so we'll use the current version of Excel 2016. So to get started, we need to download the practice files that the lessons in the book will refer to. So in the Canvas site or on this slide, you will see that there is a site, and if you double click on it, you'll download it to probably your download folder. If you have a flash or USB drive that you'd like to save to, you can right click it. I just right clicked, and you will get an option that says save to flash drive. Otherwise, you can double click it and just download it to your download file, whichever you prefer. So depending on whether you want to download it to your hard drive or you'd like to download it to your flash drive will depend on what you do with this box. You can double click it and save it to your download file, or you can right click it like I've just done and choose Save Link As, and the computer will search your drives. And in this case, I can scroll down if I want to save it to my USB drive, scroll down to the bottom wherever the parts of your computer are located. Mine happens to be USB drive E. So I'll click Save. And I'm going to pause the video while I wait for those files to save. So that's the first thing I wanted to walk you through. Those files will be used to practice the lessons in the book. Those files do not need to be submitted. They're there for you to practice before you do the graded assignment. So let's keep going. The important things to note in this lesson is that it provides a basic introduction to Excel. The lesson will tell you about some of the new features in Excel 2016. Many of them have to do with charting options. In this lesson, you'll also learn to create workbooks. You'll learn the difference between a workbook and a worksheet. You'll learn how to modify workbooks and worksheets, how to merge and unmerge cells, and how to customize the Excel 2016 program so that it's of the most benefit to you, depending on which options you use most. As you work through each of these lessons, I would strongly encourage you to keep a notebook for the class nearby. You may want to consider jotting down important shortcuts or things that you've learned that you may not be familiar with. For example, did you know that the F12 key can be used to save a workbook? And as you work through the lessons, you'll find out that there's many different ways to do many different things in Excel. And sometimes the control keys provide quicker shortcuts than using the mouse. So don't be afraid to experiment around with the various options. So for example, Control O will open a page, and Control W will close a page. So these are some of the things that I suggest that you jot down in a notebook as you're working through the lessons. In each of the problems or each of the lessons that we work on, you'll be asked to complete a quick study task. This is a workbook that you'll create to ensure that you've mastered some of the more important things in the lesson. And you will be submitting this for grading through the Canvas site. So I'm going to walk you through the first quick study task. Let me pause this and open an Excel spreadsheet. So here we have a brand new Excel workbook, and as you read along in the quick study task, you'll see that we're going to do a couple very simple things. So one of the first things that it asks you to do is to create 2 worksheets within the workbook. So you'll notice that the default for Excel 2016 is 1 sheet. That's different from previous versions. So as the instructions tell me to do, I'm going to change this sheet name to my name. You're going to use your name, but I'm going to use my name, Debbie Johnson. In addition to that, it's going to ask you to create a second workbook, and I believe I asked you to entitle that My Family. The instructions for doing all of this are included in the lesson, so I'm just recapping. And I believe that it's going to have you change the color of the tab, so I'm going to right click and I'm going to choose tab color, and I believe that I told you to color your name red. And then on My Family, I'm going to right click, I'm going to change the color to green. And then I believe I asked you to do several things within the tab. So on the first tab, which is your name, I believe I asked you to write 5 different things about yourself. So I'm going to number these. You can also use the autofill if you know how to do that. And to keep everything on the screen, I think I'm going to wrap my text. So you don't have to do that, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to widen the column, and I'm going to choose the option that wraps the text. On Excel 2016, it would be this button, and you can wrap individually, or you can use the format painter and copy the wrapping down to the other cells. And this is just a little information that we're going to share with each other. For example, I asked you to write in 5 facts about yourself. And as one of those facts, you want to include the reason you're taking the class. And as another part of the fact, you want to show me what your academic plans are. So you would include that in here. So some facts about, I'm taking this class. I could spell, to learn more about Excel. Or maybe you're taking this class because your job is requiring it. In your academic plans, tell me what it is that you hope to achieve by going to school. It could be just to learn job skills. It could be that you're looking to earn a bachelor's degree. I have several students that are working on a master's degree, and I have other students that are CPA candidates. So whatever it is that you're out to learn in this class, just document it for me. 5 quick facts about yourself, and they don't all have to be related to school. So a couple more facts about me is I've had 2 knee replacements. So maybe I would want to share that. Another interesting fact about me is I vacationed in Alaska. You probably saw the picture on the front page of my website that was a picture of me in Alaska. So anyways, include those 5 facts, and I believe I also asked you to ensure that all row heights had a height of 20, so you should have learned how to do that by reviewing the lesson, but just in case you didn't, I'll highlight those rows, I'll go click the format menu, and here you can set the row height. Right now the default is 14.5. I'm going to change that to 20. and that'll show me that you know how to change the row heights. And then you'll go to the My Family tab, and you'll include some facts about your family. So again, I'm going to go ahead and widen my column. I will wrap the text. Again, here's the icon. And I'm not sure if I told you to number them or not, but I'll go ahead and number mine. And maybe one fact I will share with you is I married my best friend of 25 years. That would be my husband. Maybe another fact is I have a daughter that also teaches economics at Cerritos College. Maybe another fact I'll share is my son is a Marine. You probably saw both of their pictures on the front part of my website. So you'll share some facts about your family. And finally, you'll save your file. And I gave you specific instructions on how to save the file. I believe I told you to call it Assignment Chapter 1 with your name. So I would save my file to wherever it is that you want to save it. So I'm going to go find, maybe in the Documents file would be fine. And I'm going to call it what I asked you to call it, which was Assignment Chapter 1. And then your last name. Mine is Johnson, so I would put Johnson. I'd click the Save File, and then you'll be ready to upload it to Canvas. So that's just a brief video showing you what I expect you to do. You can see that it only took a few minutes. The important part is that you've mastered some of the basics about Excel before moving on. No matter what level of an Excel user you are, I guarantee that you'll learn some new things through this class. So after you've uploaded your file, then don't forget you need to post to the discussion board as required by the due date, and also you need to take the assessment quiz. And as a reminder, once you open the quiz, you must finish it in the one sitting within 60 minutes. Remember, if you need help, I'm a hands-on teacher. I love what I do. I love interacting with students, and I'm here to help you. So I promise to always be available for help and to answer my email within 24 hours. Another way to contact me is to come into my office hours, or you can post a discussion board question to solicit your fellow classmates' help. You can come into any of the accounting labs that will be posted on my website, or feel free to drop in on my traditional class at any time. I look forward to working with you. Please let me know if you have any questions.